Manchester United, the club that once ruled over all of England, now lost in the shadow of its own greatness. For years, fans have been told to trust the process, promises of rebuilds and progression only to be met with poor performances, PR slogans and post-match excuses. Since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement in 2013, United have had 6 permanent and 3 interim managers. The club have spent over £1.5 billion on transfers and only managed a top 4 finish 4 times in 13 years, a far cry from the club's previous successes. But when Ruben Amorim walked through the doors at Carrington, there was a sense of something different. Suddenly the talking stopped and the listening started. Ruben Amorim, a charismatic young manager who rose through the ranks with astonishing speed. After winning the league with Braga, he joined Sporting Lisbon, turning them into Portuguese champions for the first time in 19 years. During his time in Lisbon, his side averaged 2.3 points per game, the most successful team in Portugal since Mourinho's 0-3 Porto side. But the Old Trafford hot seat would bring an unrivaled level of pressure and scrutiny. Was the young manager ready to take on what many called the most unforgiving role in football?
He's gone a bit early with that, although Onana fumbles! It's a horrible mistake from Andre Onana, and Jorginho Rutter was there to pounce.
Over the years, United's culture developed into toxicity. Backed by the Glazer family and former chief exec Ed Woodward, the club was run like a business, signing big-name players and prioritising the commercial side of the club, losing its soul in the process. Amorim was taking over a Man United side that were frankly broken, not just on the pitch, but in spirit. The dressing room was divided, the boardroom in chaos, and the fans had lost faith. This wasn't a rebuild, it was a rescue mission.
Kobe will cover there, in the middle, you...
Go!
Amorim's first job? Implementing his philosophy. He introduced a hybrid 5-2-3 formation built on verticality, pressing triggers and relentless energy. The fullbacks pushed high, midfielders rotated to create overloads, and the front three hunted impacts. The problem? In order for the system to function, every player had to play their part. Taken over 2 months in the 24-25 season, Ruben had no transfer window and instead inherited a disjointed team. Although there were glimpses of brilliance, these were overshadowed by a team with low morale who struggled to put together victories.
Different things, but I have to say it again. The storm will come. I don't know if you use that expression, but we are going to have difficult moments, and we will be found out in some games. And I know that because I'm knowing my players, and I know football, and I follow football. So I understand the difference between the teams. I know it's really hard to be a Manchester United coach and say these things in press conference. We want to win all the time, no matter what. We are going to try to win.
In the words of Amorim himself, the storm will come. A warning to United fans that there was still much work to do. In his first season, the team finished a record-low 15th place in the Premier League, and despite making it to the Europa League final, they ultimately lost to Tottenham, missing out on their only chance to play in the Champions League. But despite this performance, the manager remained defiant, never losing faith and always speaking with a composed look of confidence. At the end of the season, his message was clear with the fans.
6 months ago, in my first 3 games in charge, with 2 victories and 1 draw, I said to you, the storm is coming. Today, after this disaster season, I want to tell you, the good days are coming.
When I spoke to the manager, he gave me that belief, the confidence, and he showed me the plan.
In the summer of 25, Amorim began getting to work, showing the ability to be decisive, be ruthless, and he began clearing the deadweight, transfer listing the infamous group of players that would become known as the Bomb Squad. Rashford and Onana sent on loan, Garnacho sold, Sancho out, Contract renewals for the likes of Eriksson and Lindelof were not exercised. Not only did these cuts reduce the wage bill by over 800 grand, but it sent a clear message to the squad. You either play for the shirt or you leave the club.
Alejandro, welcome to Chelsea. How does it feel to finally be a Chelsea player?
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's an incredible feeling to join this amazing club, so yeah, I can't wait to start playing.
It wasn't just a transfer window, it was an exercise in stripping the club down to its bones. Not to destroy it, but to rebuild it. And the mood around the club began to shift. What became clear was that Amorim, supported by Jim Ratcliffe and the new CEO Omar Barada, had been carefully hand-selecting the right transfer targets. A shift in strategy with a preference for players that were Premier League proven, with strong mentalities, direct styles, and finally, we had a window that looked like a plan executed well. In came Matheus Cunha for £62.5 million and Mbeumo for £71 million. Matheus, a maverick footballer oozing character and aura, who glides across the pitch with true Brazilian flair. And Brian, a direct, efficient and lethal inside forward, something United have missed since the controversial departure of a young Mason Greenwood. Two players who collectively scored 35 goals in the Prem last year, ranked across the top 6 across the whole league for average ratings. Following this, a young talented striker by the name of Sesko and a little-known keeper from the Belgian league, Lammens. This was a huge message being sent to the fans of United, along with other teams, that United mean business again. No more flashy marquee, high-fee wage signings like Paul Pogba and Alexis Sanchez. United are signing proven players who are ready to fight for the club. And just like that, one of the clearest upgrades in world football took place, with Garnacho, Antony, Højlund and Onana replaced by Cunha, Mbeumo, Sesko and Lemons. United ready to rock and roll. But as we mentioned, the United job is no small feat. With the size of the club comes massive scrutiny, and let's just say the media love a United story. Even with the new faces, the ghosts of the past still lingered. Every misplaced pass brought groans. Every loss felt like a disaster. The fans want instant success, but Amorim demanded patience. And it wasn't an easy road. Early defeats to Arsenal and City, as well as shock cup exits and a loss to League Two side Grimsby Town, create a media frenzy.
Why do you think he is still in a job?
I think he's still in a job because I think the powers that be and Manchester United have made that many mistakes so far in decisions that they've made on and off the pitch that they almost don't want to admit right now that they've made another. And this has been a disaster for Manchester United, but also Ruben Amorim. What he did at Sporting Lisbon was fantastic. You know, he looked like the next big thing as a manager, but bringing a manager like that in terms of the system that he played, I don't think ever really suited the club of the traditions of Manchester United.
But behind closed doors, something was shifting. Training sessions became longer, sharper, more intense. Players stayed behind to study footage. Accountability meetings became the norm. A 6-man leadership group was assembled consisting of Fernandes, Lisandro Martinez, Dalot and others. No blaming, no hiding, just work. Slowly, United were learning how to be a team again. Not only were the new signings pushing the higher level, but through fostering a team identity and chemistry, the players who were ridiculed have now turned into leaders in the dressing room. Perfect examples are Delete, Casemiro and Maguire, who have become bastions of Old Trafford. The difference wasn't just in results, it was in belief. Even the backline transformed. No more loose passes, nervous touches, but composed build-up play and brave defending. And that new keeper, after many laughed at the signing, they weren't laughing anymore. It seemed that he had ended United's miserable run of goalkeepers, shown himself to be a hybrid between Courtois and Van der Sar, breathing confidence back into the spine of the team.
Now another ball in towards the back post. Header comes in from Mohamed Salah. Misjudged the flight, Diogo Dalot, and Lommans gets underneath it.
Inside Carrington, analysts started noticing something too. Pressing distances were tighter, transitions smoother. United's lines were finally moving as one, not as 11 strangers. The data doesn't lie. Double the successful high presses, fewer shots conceded, expected goals increasing from 18th to 1st in the Premier League. All promising signs this season.
And I need to make some changes, not just for the short term, but the long term.
But still, the results hadn't come. The media mocked the Amorim experiment. They said he was too rigid, that the system wasn't suited for the Premier League, that United was still miles from the top. And then October came.
For his 5th of the season and seals all 3 points. Cross in, finds Mason Mount. Mason Mount!
3 games, 3 wins, including United's first win at Anfield in a decade. 3 performances that flipped the script. Suddenly the vision came to life. The press clicked, the movement flowed, the chaos turned to control. United weren't winning, they were dominating, and Old Trafford was roaring in all its
Fifth of the season and seals all 3.
The front 3 suffocated opponents with their pressing. Midfielders hunted transitions. Defenders communicated like soldiers, all on the same mission. The football wasn't perfect, but it was alive. It had rhythm, identity, purpose. It's something United haven't had in years.
All 3 points!
Inside the dressing room, laughter returned. Players who once hid from the spotlight began to shine. And Amorim, he stayed calm. No chest thumping, no empty words, just quiet control. When reporters asked if United were back, he simply said, "We're improving. We're not fixed. Progress is a habit, not a headline."
Finish well.
I think a little bit both. I think we can manage the game better now. We can always change from one moment that we are struggling. We can change that.
That's Amorim, honest, focused, and charismatic as ever. This wasn't just a tactical revival, it's a cultural one too. United were no longer relying on individuals to save them. They were trusting the system and trusting in each other, and that's exactly what modern football demands. Because the truth is, Amorim didn't just rebuild a team, he rebuilt standards. For years, United fans lived off nostalgia, the glory days of Ferguson, the memories of Rooney, Ronaldo, Scholes, the class of '92. But Amorim's message was brutal. Before you rebuild Man United, you must destroy the illusion of what it used to be. And that's what he's doing. Brick by brick, ego by ego, he's tearing down the myth to build something real. Now, as United climb back up the table, the question is whether Amorim can survive the Premier League and how far can he go. Because his ideas, intensity, control, vertical football, they don't just win games, they change cultures. And Manchester United, the sleeping giant, might finally be waking up. The reality is there's still a long road to go. Amorim hasn't promised miracles, only progress. And as we all know, progress is never a straight line, a positive trajectory over time instead. Step by step, he's rebuilt belief in a club that once lived off memories. What he started at Old Trafford isn't just a new era, it's a return to purpose. The revolution has already begun, and this time, it feels real.
Finishes it off! No nerves now! Brian Mbeumo!
What do you think? Is Amorim the man to take Man United back to the top?
Is Manchester United Football Club.
Or will history repeat itself once again? Let us know in the comments.